Hey viewers, in this video I shall talk about the part number 3. It means that proximal tubule will be included in this part. It is the first point of discussion that what happens at the proximal tubule, which enzymes are acting on the proximal tubule, and what are the drugs that inhibit the function of the carbonic anhydrase that are called carbonic anhydrase inhibitors with the prototypical drug of acetazolamide. So first of all, we shall discuss that sodium bicarbonate and sodium chloride, glucose, amino acids, and other organic solutes are reabsorbed via specific transport system. Various transport systems are included, that are the sodium hydrogen ion transporter. Then there is the calcium base antiporter. Antiporter means that ions are moving into the opposite direction. Then we have carbonic anhydrase concentration in the lumen, urine, and this is actually the apical surface. This is the basolateral surface that faces the blood is called basolateral, and the surface that faces the urine is called apical surface. And then we have that antiporter, that is ATPase based, sodium and potassium ATPase. And then we have, moving to the next, we have sodium and HCO3 symporter. Symporter means both ions are moving into the same direction. Then we shall discuss about the pharmacology and then therapeutic uses with the mnemonics of GAMM, then the adverse effects and the dosages, that is 1 to 4 times daily secreted by the proximal tubule. So here is the sodium bicarbonate and sodium chloride. These will be reabsorbed. How they do so? Via specific transport system. Also glucose and amino acids will be absorbed. So what is the concentration here? Actually water is passively reabsorbed here, so osmolarity will be same. Osmolarity will be same in the proximal tubule. So how many concentration of the ions is reabsorption? Sodium of 66%, potassium of 65%, then of the higher concentration of the NaHCO3 relating to the 85% of the NaHCO3. Then there is 60% of the water. Then organic acid secretory systems are also present at the proximal tubule. Where they are present? Middle third of the straight proximal tubule, that is also termed as the S2 segment of the proximal tubule. So 66% sodium and then 65% potassium, 85 NaCO3, 60% water. Organic acid secretory systems are also present. Where present? Middle third of the straight proximal tubule S2 segment, also called so. Then there is a physiology. Physiology involves that diagram. There is a lumen, urine, that is apical surface. This is a basolateral surface, interstitium of blood, lumen or urine. There are the four transporters. That can be symporter or antiporter. Facing the same arrow, that is a symporter, antiporter, antiporter, and antiporter. So here the transport of the transport starts in where when the NaCO3 sodium hydrogen ion exchanger, sodium hydrogen ion exchanger, this is named at. So sodium will be moving into the intracellular. This is the intracellularly. Then sodium will move into the into the blood. Sodium is moving into the urine, from urine to the blood. Okay. Then hydrogen from the cell move into the urine constitutes HCO3, so they will combine by the presence of the carbonic anhydrase enzyme that is present at the, where they are present? They are present at the apical surface and at the intracellular surface. They will be agonist. They will be positive, show positive feedback. So H2 and H2O and CO2, water and carbon dioxide will be generated, and they will be transported into the cell, where they are again, this is a cycle actually, they will be again affected by the carbonic anhydrase, forming the H2CO3 that will be dissociate into hydrogen and HCO3 negative. That HCO3 negative will be then move into the blood. That will be move into blood. When they move into the blood, what the other ion transported. That ion is the sodium ion, because it is importer. Same direction of the ion movement happens. So sodium and HCO3 will be moving into the blood. Sodium here, from sodium here moving into the blood, then from here moving into the blood. If so many positive ions are moving into the blood, so there will be a negative charge requirement. So that negative charge will be drew out from the urine into the intracellular phase. And if this is antiporter, something will be move out into the urine. So bases will be move out into the urine, and chloride will move into the intracell. So NHA3, sodium hydrogen ion transporter, carbonic anhydrase. This is antiporter, symporter, antiporter. Then there are we are discuss, but I shall read it. Sodium hydrogen ion exchanger present at the apical surface. As all of you know that this is apical surface facing the urine, as they are present into the apical surface, and they act as antiporter to transport sodium in exchange for the hydrogen in the exchange of the hydrogen. This phenomena will not happen in the absence of any ion. In one ion, if sodium is not present, so hydrogen will not be drawn out into the urine. And then there is a sodium potassium ATPase pump. Sodium potassium ATPase pump, that is a ATP mediated. It is present at the basolateral, as we know that it is a basolateral, in exchange sodium and potassium. Then we have carbonic anhydrase. This is present at the this is regulated for the hydration and rehydration of the carbonic acid. That is also unstable. If it is unstable, then what will be happening? HCO3 will be moved into the breakdown. H2CO3 will break down. Carbonic acid will be break down. HCO3 ions will be moved into the blood. So it is present on the apical as well as intracellular, apical surface and intracellular surface. Then we have HCO3 and sodium symporter, as we have discussed that here the HCO3 negative and sodium ions are moving to the blood. Then we have chlorine base antiporter. Chlorine will be moving to the cell and base will be moving to the urine. Transport, this is the transportation to benefit the electrolyte balance or maintain the electrolyte balance. Then we have pharmacology. Pharmacology, it inhibits the enzyme carbonic anhydrase that is present on the apical and into the intracellular surface, and then blocks the sodium bicarbonate reabsorption, NaHCO3 reabsorption, and cause diuresis. For example, what drugs are included in the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors that are acting onto the proximal tubule? These are the acetazolamide. It is a prototypical drug of the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. So carbonic anhydrase inhibitors also block carbonic anhydrase enzyme, where they do so in eyes and CSF. Eyes, there are ciliary bodies present that regulate the aqueous humor, that is important for the intraocular pressure of the eyes. Then we have choroid plexus. Sorry, this is not a intraocular pressure. Intraocular pressure is there. This is the cranial pressure. They will deal with the cranial pressure here. And there are therapeutic uses. First one is the glaucoma, second one is the urinary alkalization, third one is the metabolic alkalosis, and fourth one is mountain sickness, acute mountain sickness. As the glaucoma disease, there is a increased intraocular pressure, so we will use carbonic anhydrase inhibitors to inhibit the enzyme in the eyes on the ciliary that will act on the ciliary bodies of the eyes. Then we have urinary alkalinization, means that urine is alkaline. For making that urine alkalized, higher the pH means that the hydrogen will be less in the body. And then we have a good mechanism for what? If we have urine, alkaline urine, then there will be less toxicity in the body of the hydrogen. Then we have metabolic alkalosis, alkali will be metabolized, and then we have mountain sickness. that acute mountain sickness is regulated by that carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. Then we have adverse effects. 4 adverse effects are given here. First one is a metabolic alkalosis, acidosis. Sorry, here is a mild acidosis can be happen. Therapeutic uses involves the metabolic alkalosis, but the adverse effects involve metabolic acidosis, that is mild. Potassium depletion, it is actually unknown phenomena, but their potassium also reabsorbed, so also inhibit the reabsorption of the potassium. So potassium will be drained in the urine. If there is not enough potassium, so the blood pressure will be increased. And then we have renal stones. As the calcium ions are moving into the cells, so if they are not moving into the cells, then they will be cause the urinary stone. Accumulation of calcium will lead into the renal stone. Then we have dosiness, that is related to the mountain sickness. Then is the pharmacokinetics or dosages. 1 to 4 times daily the dosage of the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. 1 to 4 times they are given. They are secreted by the proximal tubule. Proximal tubules secrete them. What is the secretion? Let's revise that. Actually, secretion is the moving of fluid from blood to filtrate. Thank you for this video. Meet you in the next video that involves the leukophene and the effect of the drugs that act on the leukophene and the ascending leukophene. Thank you. Peace out.